and dependent realization. Imagine two trees growing so closely intertwined that neither can stand alone. This is the essence of codependency, a relationship pattern where one or both partners become emotionally and psychologically dependent on each other in unhealthy ways. In codependent relationships, one person typically takes on the role of the giver or fixer, while the other becomes the taker or receiver. The giver derives their sense of worth from being needed, while the taker relies on the giver for emotional and often practical support. It's like a dance where both partners know only one set of steps and can't imagine dancing any other way. What makes codependency particularly complex is that it often masquerades as love and dedication. The giver might pride themselves on their selflessness, while the taker might view their dependency as proof of trust and intimacy. However, this dynamic prevents both individuals from developing true emotional independence and self-worth. The roots of codependency often trace back to childhood experiences, particularly in families dealing with addiction, mental illness, or emotional neglect. Children learn to suppress their own needs while becoming hypersensitive to others' emotions, carrying these patterns into adult relationships. Breaking free from codependency requires both partners to develop self-awarenesses and establish healthy boundaries. It's about learning that true love means supporting each other's independence rather than fostering dependency. The goal is to transform from two people who can't function apart into two whole individuals who choose to be together. Independent/interdependent relationships. Picture two strong oak trees growing side by side, each with its own robust root system, yet their branches occasionally intertwining in a beautiful dance. This is the essence of independent/interdependent relationships, where partners maintain their individual identities while choosing to share their lives meaningfully. In these relationships, both partners recognize that they are complete individuals on their own, capable of functioning independently, yet they consciously choose to create a partnership that enhances both their lives. It's like a skilled dance duo. Each dancer is talented individually, but together they create something even more magnificent. What makes this dynamic particularly healthy is its foundation in choice rather than necessity. Partners support each other's goals, interests, and personal growth while maintaining their own passions and friendships. They understand that having separate experiences enriches their shared life rather than threatening it. The balance between independence and interdependence requires ongoing communication and adjustment. Partners must navigate when to lean on each other and when to stand alone, when to compromise and when to maintain individual boundaries. It's a dynamic that celebrates both connection and autonomy. This relationship style often leads to greater satisfaction and longevity because it allows both partners to grow individually while growing together. The relationship becomes a conscious choice renewed each day rather than a dependency or obligation.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love.
Our best relationship. Imagine a scale constantly tipping back and forth, never finding its balance. Power-based relationships revolve around control, influence, and dominance, creating a dynamic where one partner typically holds more power over the other in various aspects of life. These power dynamics can manifest in multiple ways: financial control, decision-making authority, emotional manipulation, or social influence. Sometimes the power imbalance is obvious, like when one partner controls all financial decisions. Other times it's subtle, expressed through passive-aggressive behavior or emotional withholding. Or what makes power-based relationships particularly complex is that they often develop gradually and can be difficult to recognize from within. The partner with less power might rationalize the imbalance, believing they're choosing to defer to their partner's judgment or that the arrangement is for the best. The impact of power imbalances extends beyond the immediate relationship, affecting self-esteem and personal growth. The partner with less power might gradually lose confidence in their decision-making abilities, while the dominant partner might struggle with genuine intimacy and vulnerability. Understanding power dynamics is crucial because even healthy relationships involve some power negotiation. The key difference lies in whether power is shared and flexible, shifting naturally based on each partner's strengths and the situation, or whether it's rigid and one-sided, serving to control rather than collaborate. Toxic/dis/supportive/ picture a garden where instead of nurturing growth, the soil is slowly poisoned. Toxic relationships are similar, environments where negative patterns, harmful behaviors, and emotional damage become the norm rather than the exception. These relationships are characterized by recurring patterns of disrespect, manipulation, and emotional abuse. What makes them particularly dangerous is how they often cycle between periods of intensity and reconciliation, creating a powerful psychological bond that makes it difficult to leave despite the harm being caused. The toxicity can manifest in various ways: constant criticism, emotional manipulation, gaslighting, and jealousy. Like a slow-acting poison, these behaviors gradually erode self-esteem, boundaries, and the ability to recognize healthy relationship patterns. People often stay in toxic relationships due to complex psychological factors: fear, trauma bonding, and normalized abuse patterns from childhood. The relationship becomes like a maze where the exit seems impossible to find, even though staying causes continued harm. Breaking free from toxic relationships requires recognition, support, and professional help. It's about learning to identify harmful patterns, rebuilding self-worth, and understanding that love shouldn't hurt. Recovery involves not just leaving the relationship, but healing the wounds it created and learning to recognize healthy relationship patterns. Secure/healthy relationships. Imagine a well-tended garden where both plants receive equal sunlight, water, and care, allowing them to flourish together. Secure relationships provide a similar environment of mutual support, respect, and growth, creating a foundation where both partners can thrive individually and together. These relationships are characterized by open communication, emotional safety, and mutual trust. Partners feel comfortable expressing their needs, fears, and desires without fear of judgment or rejection. They handle conflicts constructively, viewing them as opportunities for understanding and growth rather than battles to be won. What makes secure relationships particularly valuable is their ability to foster both independence and intimacy. Partners support each other's growth and ambitions while maintaining strong emotional connections. They celebrate each other's successes without feeling threatened and offer comfort during difficulties without trying to fix everything. The foundation of these relationships is built on emotional maturity, self-awareness, and healthy boundaries. Partners understand their own worth while deeply valuing their connection. They take responsibility for their actions and emotions while showing empathy for their partner's experiences. Creating and maintaining a secure relationship requires ongoing effort and attention. It's like tending a garden, requiring regular care, adjustment to changing conditions, and patience as the relationship grows and evolves. Anxious, avoidant attachment. Picture a dance where one partner constantly moves forward seeking closeness, while the other continuously steps back seeking space. This is the essence of the anxious-avoidant dynamic, one of the most challenging yet common relationship patterns. The anxiously attached partner deeply fears abandonment and seeks constant reassurance, while the avoidant partner fears engulfment and maintains emotional distance. This creates a painful cycle where the anxious partner's need for closeness triggers the avoidant partner's need for space, which in turn intensifies the anxious partner's fears. What makes this dynamic particularly complex is how it becomes self-reinforcing. The more the anxious partner pursues, the more the avoidant partner withdraws, creating a pattern that confirms both partners' worst fears about relationships. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy playing out in real. These attachment styles and early relationships usually develop in childhood based on experiences with caregivers. Understanding this can help partners develop compassion for each other's positions while working to create new, healthier patterns of interaction. Breaking free from this dynamic requires both partners to develop awareness and commit to personal growth. The anxious partner needs to develop self-soothing skills and internal security, while the avoidant partner needs to learn to tolerate closer emotional connection. Parent-child relation. Imagine a master gardener carefully nurturing a young sapling, providing the perfect balance of support and space to grow. Parent-child relationships represent one of the most fundamental and influential dynamics in human life, shaping our understanding of love, trust, and human connection. This relationship dynamic is unique because it begins with complete dependency and ideally evolves into a healthy adult relationship. The initial years create the blueprint for all future relationships, affecting how we view ourselves and connect with others. It's like programming the basic operating system of a computer. These early experiences become the foundation for all future programs of relating. What makes this dynamic particularly powerful is its lasting impact across generations. Patterns of parenting often repeat themselves, with people either replicating or deliberately choosing to differ from their parents' approach. The relationship evolution continues throughout life, with roles often reversing in later years. As adult children care for aging parents, healthy parent-child relationships require a delicate balance between protection and independence, guidance and autonomy. Parents must gradually shift from complete caretakers to supportive guides, allowing their children to develop their own identity while maintaining a secure emotional base. The challenges and rewards of this dynamic change with each life stage, requiring continuous adaptation and growth from both parties. Understanding this relationship helps us comprehend not only our own behavior patterns, but also the broader fabric of human society. Mentorship. The secret science of Picture a skilled craftsperson guiding an apprentice, sharing not just technical knowledge but wisdom gained through years of experience. The mentor-mentee dynamic represents a unique blend of teaching, guidance, and personal development that goes beyond mere instruction. This relationship is characterized by its focus on growth and development, with the mentor providing guidance based on experience, while the mentee brings fresh perspective and eager curiosity. Unlike traditional teaching relationships, effective mentorship involves a more holistic approach to development, addressing both professional and personal growth. What makes this dynamic particularly valuable is its potential for mutual benefit. While the mentee gains knowledge, the mentor often experiences renewed perspective, satisfaction from sharing wisdom, and the opportunity to leave a lasting legacy. It's like a bridge connecting different generations of knowledge and experience. The success of this relationship depends on clear boundaries, mutual respect, and a shared commitment to growth. Both parties must maintain professional boundaries while developing enough trust to allow for vulnerable conversations and honest feedback. Modern applications of mentorship have evolved beyond traditional one-on-one relationships to include group mentoring, peer mentoring, and even reverse mentoring, where younger individuals share their expertise with more experienced professionals. Competitive relaxation. Imagine two athletes who push each other to achieve greater heights while competing for the same goal. Competitive relationships can be either destructive or constructive, depending on how the competition is handled and the underlying motivations of those involved. In healthy competitive relationships, the competition serves as motivation for both parties to improve and excel. Like iron sharpening iron, each person's success pushes the other to grow and develop. However, unhealthy competition can lead to resentment, sabotage, and damaged relationships. What makes this dynamic particularly complex is its dual nature. Competition can foster innovation and excellence, but it can also breed insecurity and hostility. The key lies in maintaining respect and goodwill while engaging in competition, understanding that success doesn't have to be zero-sum. These relationships often occur in professional settings, among siblings, or between friends pursuing similar goals. The challenge lies in balancing personal ambition with maintaining positive relationships, requiring emotional maturity and secure self-esteem. The most successful competitive relationships maintain a foundation of mutual respect and support, where both parties can celebrate each other's successes while still striving for their own excellence. Enabling volition. Think of a person repeatedly throwing a life preserver to someone who refuses to learn to swim. Enabling relationships occur when one person, often with good intentions, supports or covers for another person's destructive behavior or problematic behavior. This dynamic frequently develops in relationships involving addiction, mental health issues, or chronic irresponsibility. The enabler believes they're helping by protecting their loved one from consequences, but actually perpetuates harmful behavior patterns. What makes enabling particularly insidious is how it masquerades as love and support. The enabler often feels they're being kind and helpful while actually preventing necessary growth and change. It's like continuously applying bandages to a wound that needs surgery. It might feel better temporarily, but prevents real healing. Breaking free from enabling patterns requires understanding the difference between genuine help and harmful enabling. This often involves learning to set healthy boundaries, allowing natural consequences to occur, and sometimes stepping back to allow the other person to face their challenges. The path to healthier relationships involves supporting positive change while avoiding the trap of rescuing or fixing others. True support means empowering people to solve their own problems rather than solving problems for them. Trauma-bonded relationships. Imagine two people tied together by a shared traumatic experience, creating a bond that feels unbreakable yet holds both back from healing. Trauma bonding occurs when intense emotional experiences, particularly those involving danger, fear, or abuse, create powerful attachment bonds. These relationships are characterized by cycles of abuse and reconciliation, creating a biochemical addiction to the relationship's highs and lows. Like a roller coaster that's both terrifying and exciting, the intensity of emotions can make regular relationships seem bland in comparison. What makes trauma bondants particularly powerful is their root in survival mechanisms. The brain associates the person causing harm with relief from harm, creating a confusing mix of fear and attachment. It's similar to Stockholm Syndrome, where captives develop positive feelings toward their captors. Breaking trauma bonds requires understanding their psychological nature and often needs professional help. The process involves recognizing the pattern, building self-awareness, and gradually developing healthier attachment styles. Recovery from trauma bonding isn't just about ending the relationship, it's about healing the underlying trauma and learning to form healthy attachments based on genuine care rather than trauma responses.